This podcast is produced by Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency. The Collective Us, an NMCAA podcast, focuses on inspiring you through stories of those we've helped through our programming or by linking local resources to community members in need. Join us as we learn about the programs offered through NMCAA and how we touch people's lives every day. Welcome back to the Collective Us, an NMCAA podcast. I'm Erica Austin.
And I'm Ryan Buck. Today we're exploring an exciting topic, collaborative child care centers. These programs provide an exciting opportunity for our community, and we are thrilled to dive in.
Absolutely. That's an incredible thing for sure. NMCAA's collaborative child care centers focus on creating partnerships between families, educators, and community organizations to provide high-quality care and education for our children.
And to help us understand more about these centers, we have two guests with us today. We have Katherine Kwiatkowski, Collaborative and Early Head Start Center-based manager, and Rachael Dyer, Collaborative Center Services Coordinator. Welcome to you both.
Yes, welcome so much. I'm excited to have you guys here today. This is a program we have not had an opportunity to talk about on our show before, so I'm so excited that we finally got you guys here.
New ground. I think our minds are going to get blown a lot. That's what's going to happen. Let's start by discussing the concept of collaborative childcare in general. Katherine, can you explain what a collaborative childcare center is and how it works? Broad topic, but you can start wherever you want.
Great. Well, thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
So a collaborative center is a independently operated child care center in the region. And then we come alongside with those entities and we partner with them to provide Head Start services to their enrolled children. So their children are enrolled in the child care center and then they provide the Head Start services. And what we do is people like Rachael will come alongside and meet with them and help support the implementation.
Awesome.
Head Start.
Yeah.
You like that.
Yeah, I always love our child and family development.
I know. Already I didn't know that was part of it.
Yeah, I know. And this is a program I think we've mentioned before.
We have.
We've mentioned it. And Ryan was like, wait, we have another program we haven't talked about? I mean, it's in the name. It's a great concept, bringing together existing child care centers and our programming to collaborate as a community. So Rachael, what are some of the benefits that these collaborative centers provide for families?
So thanks for having us. I also wanted to say hello really quick, and I'm so excited to be sitting next to Katherine. So I'm new to the organization, but I've also been a teacher in a collaborative setting for quite a long time in another center. And I want to say that we offer so many wraparound services and benefits, including support with dietary needs, health needs, nutrition, all those kinds of things. And my job really is based on supporting teachers in the classroom. So in addition to supporting families, which is what Head Start encompasses in those health aspects, my job is to support curriculum, education, keeping things developmentally appropriate, encouraging teachers to dig deeper. And, we just explore together and look at that early childhood piece.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
A lot. There was a lot there.
There was a lot there.
Health. And so is that like the philosophy that if needs aren't taken care of, it's hard to learn? So why look at all of those things? It's a lot of things to look at.
Absolutely. All of those key elements help us in the long term with the children's development, but also just who they become. When all of those needs can be met, family needs as well, we're all better able to rise.
Yeah.
And you're working collaborative and that's another collaborative that comes up a lot. So with other teachers, and how does it work as you're getting ready to get into the classroom? How does that collaboration look ahead of time? Can you give us a little insight?
Sure. I've been able to complete my first full year cycle. So starting, we're kind of just always rolling and looking at enrollment, that kind of rolls throughout the year. But initially, as the school year starts and we embark on those kinds of things at the late summer, early fall, we're talking to directors mostly and teachers even about class lists and potential interested families in their community that need support with childcare, basically, so they can work and make a living and serve their families in other ways. So we support that. We're looking for those families with needs. We're communicating with the directors, sometimes the teachers and the families. And I've got different colleagues that come into play during those times. And it's just kind of like getting in the building and sitting face to face and sharing information that we all have in different facets. I might have information they don't, and vice versa, and kind of creating a classroom that works for everybody.
And
like
you have
for
a
the
lot of
families and the teachers.
perspective because you've seen a lot. So that's got to help. They've got to feel good knowing somebody can understand their language, understand what they're facing.
Right, exactly. As far as, are you talking directors in this, or
well, like having
too?
education knowledge and knowing what teachers go through.
Absolutely.
It's the day-to-day can be different than what you read on a book, and and just knowing somebody can speak that same language has to help.
Yes, my sense of empathy for teachers is huge. I was teaching for 23 years, and I definitely have a really strong sense of empathy for what teachers are, what their struggles are, what their celebrations and joys are. But just what they're going through. I can kind of like read between the lines pretty easily, and want to support in any way that I can and advocate for them too, in addition to their families and children. Yeah. So
we know with early Head Start and Head Start that there's a lot that goes into the program, including you talked about health screenings, family engagement outings, etc. Is this all included in Collaborative Center programming as well? All that we just talked about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure when we were preparing for this episode if the family engagement piece was a part of Collaborative Centers as well. So that's really a cool thing to hear.
We have family services specialists who work with the families and the centers, and they help promote the family engagement activities. They help purchase, they help attend, and they really come alongside. We have 2 of those.
What kind of engagement outings are there?
Lots of different ones. We were actually just talking about one before this podcast. There's a lot of seasonal aspects that make families generate excitement. There's a farmer's market coming to a specific center. They're inviting families in. They're having children prepare for the engagement with decorating bags and things like that, and getting art projects ready so they can invite their families in to participate. And in doing so, then they can also, children can share their classroom environment a little bit more. Families meet each other. So it's all those like beautiful aspects too. Yeah. But it's usually seasonal, or it's some sort of interest that children have that drive it. Yeah. Is the idea.
Farmers market event coming to, that's cool. Yeah. That gives a lot of different aspects. Do you have to collaborate with vendors, and how do you make all that kind of stuff happen? And when do you have time to do that?
It's typically the center that takes the lead on what the topic will be and who they'll be partnering with.
So they have, that's a lot for them to do as well then.
Yeah, it's often the director or maybe a teacher that's really inspired. They'll visit pumpkin patches. They've done apple picking. So they get excited about it, and it's fun for the families and the teachers.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's very
on
cool.
and off site.
Yeah. Cool. So what are some uniquenesses that Collaborative Centers provide to our families that, and maybe there aren't any, but that early Head Start and Head Start programs don't offer? Is there any unique things?
I think it's the wraparound care before and after school. So when we partner with a Collaborative Center, they will offer the programming, the Head Start or the early Head Start programming for a finite number of hours, but then they have before care and after care.
Right.
And year round. So even over winter breaks and spring breaks, we have some centers who are open on New Year's Day. So
maybe this has been asked before, but forgive me. Can you elaborate on what wraparound service means? Well, just for maybe a first-time listener, just what that means, because I think it's a real big positive.
Well, and I think that it can be used in many different ways. And the way that I was trying to use it was for extended care, really looking at it as having the whole day. So their Head Start hours might be 8:30 to 3:30, but then they could stay and attend their tuition programming for the remainder of the day.
So you might be able to, as a parent, I have young children. I might be able to drop my kids off at 7 when they open because I got to get to work. But Head Start or early Head Start might not start till 8.
Holy cow! What a relief!
And then, right, and then I get to work my whole day. I don't have to come home at 3 to pick up my kids from Head Start because they have extended care too, so they could stay till 5 or something, right? Like I think that's what Catherine's trying to say, and I think that's an amazing. You're 100% spot on with that.
It's caring for people where they are and what they need, and understanding. What truly is needed by having the information. And
then it's the continuity of services and care for the children too, because they're with the same caregivers that whole time. And for Head Start, it's just a school year program, but the summer care is available and they could stay in the same environment with the same people. And so you have that stability year round for the children and building those relationships.
So I just want to clarify, is in collaborative centers, early Head Start and Head Start
Yes.
programs are available through collaborative centers?
And I would say the really unique thing with the early Head Start component is that it's available 5 days a week, 10 hours a day. And so even if you weren't working all of those hours, but you need to go get your groceries, you could go get your groceries and take care of your needs so that you can be better ready to be with your children at the end of the day when you've got that mad dash for dinner.
There
and
was something
bath
to
time.
that too, you know, of it being prepared and well as a parent to, you know, continue to allow your child to thrive. 'Cause, you know, you have responsibilities too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We forget about that a lot.
Yeah.
Well said. Thank you. NMCAA currently has 10 collaborative centers. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. We're going to try to give them all a shout out. So Bel Air Preschool and Kids Club, Central Lake Trojans and Mansalona Daycare in Antrim County, Bluefish Early Learning Center and Kalkaska Memorial Intergenerational Center in Kalkaska, First Steps Child Care and Center in Frankfort, Forest Area Early Learning Center in Fife Lake, NMC Children's Learning Center right here in Traverse City, Pitter Patter Preschool and Child Care in Interlaken and in Kingsley.
That's all of them. You got
correct.
them.
Pitter Patter Preschool is probably one of the more fun things that I've said all day. And I'm going to continue to say it probably forever when I need a little dopamine rush.
Yeah, and I'm just going to do a quick self-plug because my sister works at Pitter Patter as a director, and I know she works with you guys, so just shout out
Whoa,
to her.
I buried the lead. I didn't know that. That's cool.
I shocked you again, didn't I,
You
Ryan?
always do.
So, Katherine, you actually worked as a collaborative center partner before coming to NMCAA. So can you tell us what it's like on the other side of the partnership?
Oh, gosh, it was great. I had this collaborative center services coordinator at the time, Heidi Flores, and she still is a collaborative center services coordinator.
Team members.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And she would come and meet with me every month, and it was like a breath of fresh air. You know, you're so busy in the classroom every day and attending to just the needs of the children and the families and yourself and your peers. And so coming together with her, we would find any place in the building that we could. Even sometimes it was like a storage closet. And it was just
Somewhere alone for a moment.
such a breath of fresh air. And she would just listen and hear what I had concerns or challenges with and give me feedback on the direction I was taking. And so I really, really liked it. That's why I came here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. Somebody will like going to get some supplies, finds two humans in the storage closet. Like, we're just debriefing.
Oh, yeah. I've done many
Mind us.
planning sessions.
Well, see,
in the
teacher, you
supply
have to
closet
be
or the laundry room.
resourceful and like the ingenuity that you have to, because you don't always have the best resources or any, I'm sure. So it creates hardy and, you know, very clever individuals.
And I'm sure
Absolutely.
just getting away from the children for just a long enough time, right, too, to like have
Sure.
an adult conversation about what your concerns are. I know this is kind of off topic, but not really. I had gone down to our Cadillac office where we have some Head Start programs, and one of the teachers was out in the hallway, and she's like, I can't go in the classroom right now because the kids will see me and then I'll be stuck, you know, because she was trying to get some like work done at her desk. But
Oh,
it was
yeah,
just
that
kind
has
of like,
to happen too.
Yeah. So it's just funny to hear that, like, take on it, like, oh, you find me in the closet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when you're in the classroom, there's so many things coming, every child's need. And then also you're reading the room constantly, and different parts of the rooms have different things going on.
Yeah.
And so to be able to just have that quiet in that storage room or that storage closet, it is really something.
Yeah.
I don't think about having to be on all the. You are on all the time. It's not, you have safety and all of it.
Yeah.
I really never thought about that, and the reading the room, because you're trying to anticipate, maybe get ahead of a problem. I really didn't think about all that.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about this on an episode of like the performance aspect of a teacher, right? Too.
Yeah,
like,
we did. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we talked about just how you have to kind of be on all the time and be ready to take on whatever things. You know,
But
thrown
that
your way.
anticipatory, that reading of the room, that's I hadn't heard that before. And
Yeah.
I think teachers are underpaid.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yes.
Got a plug for teachers.
Yes.
But yeah, we're trying to show children as well how to navigate their own emotional needs and when they might need a break in the room or have a little downtime, providing spaces for them to do that, like a quiet corner. So I think it's a really good modeling practice too for teachers to know how to, or be able to, and sometimes we're only able to take like a 10-minute break, right? But to be able to navigate that and show children that we also need to take deep breaths or
Sure.
have a little space, have a little time, and, kind of co-regulate with everybody, but also do it ourselves.
Sometimes you got to go into the storage closet and just have a moment.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
pardon my interruption, but it's time to call out some of those career milestone achievements. In November, we have 4 employees who are celebrating with NMCAA.
We have Rochelle Smith Warner, 10 years.
Yes. Julie Barber, 20 years.
Brenya Pena Dejoux, 20 years.
Amy McComber King, 20 years.
Thank you to each and every one of you for your hard work and everything you do to support your community and your neighbors.
Absolutely.
I love that segment.
I do too. It's my favorite.
Well, you both so beautifully described child development in your preparation for this show. We talked about this before we recorded, and this is a first for the show. So I wanted to share, Rachael, you wrote, my educational background has well informed me about early accelerated brain development and crucial aspects of learning, interventions, supports, and establishment of consistent relationships with the first 5 to 8 years of a human's life. I am 100% committed to supporting all aspects of ECE, whether it be via developmental screeners or assessments, thinking more deeply about the third teacher, the physical environment, family involvement, and building trusting relationships. I like that, the third teacher.
Yeah.
The physical environment, family involvement, and building trusting relationships, or the importance of child-directed, open-ended play in the classrooms, striving to ultimately honor family cultures by way of overlapping support for the unique classroom cultures we serve is key. It's clear that the passion is deep. We just talked about how hard it is to keep doing that grind for how long. So in you, why keep doing this? What makes that passion so strong today in this moment?
I think that I've been able to actually see families through this process. The first children I started with in my classroom are now, some of them are teachers and have children of their own. And once I started learning from my role models about how important brain development is and how it's so key and crucial that children have this early foundation to be able to be successful in school later in life. And the fact that if humans can learn how to be next to each other and listen to each other and, just be able to express themselves in appropriate ways, which they cannot do from the beginning. And we're helping them through that. And that's expected and typical and normal for children, that we're just all going to be better off. Our societies will be better off. I also have observed some amazing teachers in classrooms, and it just sparked me. It was, books I've read. So along the way, all these little glimmers have come along. My previous degree in environmental support and environmental protection was there too. So I just want to help our society. It's really important for me to have a clean space, clean place to live in, clean environment, and also humans that want to take care of it and are driven to take care of each other in regards to that.
It maybe seems like your most crucial asset, that brain, the fact that we should and can be focusing on how to use it in its best way. That makes a lot of sense. And the fact that hopefully you see the rewards, you mentioned, those students who are now teachers, hopefully that feels good, because I'm sure you had something to do with that along the way. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's fun too.
Because you need a positive teacher, right? To show you that you should do that, or somebody to emulate. So
sure.
Cheers to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katherine, your perspective on early childhood education is so inspiring. You wrote, and I love this first sentence, teachers have the gift of opportunity when working with young children. They are with these tiny humans in the exact moment they are learning about this world, the language we speak, the way we interact with each other for the first time. Each interaction young children have with their peers and the adults around them is a building block that children place one on top of the other to create a framework and structure for who they are and who they will become. When we can be kind to one another and understanding, we can come alongside children with grace, composure, and acceptance, and truly be with them in those first moments. As a mother, I can only hope that all my children have teachers and grown-ups beyond my household that have that same perspective.
Here.
One thing I found fascinating while prepping for this episode was that you have a psychology degree with an emphasis on early childhood. So how does that shape that background that you have? How does it shape your perspective of early childhood education and your daily work?
I think it has supported my curiosity. I think I come to the table being curious. I was involved in a lot of research early on in my education with psychology. And so that's looking at something, trying to understand what's happening that we can't see, doing some experimenting. And we do that in the classroom. We change, we adjust. We do that when we work with our colleagues, when we are working with other adults that are working with children. We are constantly making little micro adjustments to see if this is going to have a bigger impact or what will help this child or this person be successful. And so I do think that built a foundation, that research, that love of just that curiosity for what is this that's happening here? What is the deeper thing going on? What's motivating this? What needs to be met?
Yeah.
What kind of skill
It's
are they
so
trying to work on?
interesting.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Curiosity. It can lead to empathy. I feel like we've solved
Yeah.
a lot here. This is a free show. People can listen to this anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. This is free. That's staggering to me.
But really, though, I don't, like you said, we don't normally pull excerpts from things, but both of you just wrote so passionately about the things that you do on a daily basis. I was like, I have to include this. It's just
And
so
it's
beautifully
clear
written.
that this is real. I mean, like sitting here in this room, I mean, it all makes sense. As I read it, now I'm connecting it to the two of you. It's really amazing. So I can only think about the impact that your work, your passion is having on people in our communities. So can you talk about the impact? Can we drum up some success? Can you think of a couple of success stories that you could share with the listeners and us that really kind of make you happy?
I've seen absolutely the joy sparked in teachers' eyes when we have sat together and had conversations regarding that curiosity about children's needs or skills they're needing or seeking and how to support them. And I've watched teachers follow back up with that, kind of loop back to that, support kids in classrooms in ways they feel like you might have been informed by our conversations or other things that they've learned along the way, and then come out the other side with some small successes and celebrations. And I've seen teachers just in the short time I've been in this role, supporting teachers and not being just one of the teachers in the room every day, really spark and light up about their experiences with children and their successes and things they've learned in just the short time I've been here. There's been probably 3 or 4 teachers I can think of. So
That's inspiring.
Catherine, do you have one?
I was going to say that I think it's a little bit general, but when I come and I meet with other teachers or the directors, I don't usually come with the answers. And I think that is a really big piece. I don't come with answers. I come with questions. I come to find out more. And you can see that when you step back and you're not the expert, you're the person who's here with you trying to figure it out. I can see teachers and directors soften how they're feeling in that moment. They'll relax a little bit. And just those little pieces, I recognize that I'm having a really good impact. I'm here with them. We're going to figure it out together. I don't know the answers. We're going to find those answers
A
together.
little further on that, is there a key, a ubiquitous key maybe, to coming up with the best questions? What's the best way to make the most impactful questions? As question writers, inquiring minds want to know.
I mean, it's probably pretty commonly heard, but I wonder prompt.
Interesting.
And what do you think?
So putting it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just listening first, right? And developing the questions around what you're hearing.
Are you becoming, or are there ways that you can be informed by the students, by children? Are there any ways that you're gathering data, and how are you using maybe data to inform your daily routines?
So we have some data that we collect during observations, and that's more qualitative data, right?
Sure.
So that would be something that the CCSCs are doing more intimately with the teachers. But then we also do collect a lot of quantitative data, like the school readiness data. And so when those pieces help us when we're planning for trainings or even how we might focus the recaps for that month, when we start to see that there are a rise in incidences where teachers are feeling challenged right after maybe the holiday break, winter break, we come in and we're thinking, okay, let's focus our observations around mental health and what's happening in the classroom. So we kind of place our observations and our trainings and what we're doing at our trainings based on the qualitative and quantitative data that we see in our assessments, but also really the magical work that the CCSCs are doing because they're having those conversations. And so much of what we do is more qualitative work when you're working with children. Yeah. It's that human to human, that relationship based.
Is it something, an element that I think may be interesting for people to know, I mean, you're not just coming in willy-nilly with good feelings and peace signs going, we're going to make everything better. You're being informed by this and in some ways taking in what the little people are saying and what they are looking for too. Because again, the consistency on the show and within NMCAA is we're taking care of the whole picture, which I think is really fascinating. So what's your comfort level with a spreadsheet? Do you love data or do you hate data?
I love data.
Yeah,
You do?
Data's
do.
great. I do too.
So
but I
you
like the
both-
qualitative aspects too versus the quantitative. I would like to say too, just observing, just stepping back for a minute and just literally just watching. It's really hard to do that when you're feeling the room, reading the room, and you're busy. And with regard to teaching, and I want to say really quick too that never coming across as that expert, which we aren't, which I'm not. I've got lots of experience in my own way, but definitely not an expert. I'm familiar with things. I know terms, I know tools a little bit, but establishing that trust, because then people feel safe, whether it's children, have a trusted adult in the room that they know they can go to and ask a question or make a statement or offer something that they wouldn't feel comfortable doing if they didn't have that relationship. Same with teachers. I feel like if I can establish that trust and say, I get it, I'm here and I'm listening, I'm looking at you, and they're able to like actually take a risk by
and it says a lot about that organization, that teacher, to receive you and to be open to that too, because that's two-way. If there is an existing childcare center out there listening today, would they be able to become a collaborative center? And if so, how could they start that process?
They would reach out to me.
So that's a possibility?
Sure.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Okay,
Yep.
they'd reach out to you.
And then
Catherine.
You, Catherine.
It's Catherine's
Oh,
voice.
okay. You don't want that voicemail?
Don't call Rachel.
I'll call Catherine for you.
yes.
All
I knew
right.
who was talking.
We'll put it in the show notes, highlight it, and bold it, just in case. So they would call you, Catherine.
And then we would have several meetings to help them understand what they were getting themselves into with a partnership and the implementation, because it is a lot of extra work, and we try to make it to be that it's work that they would already be doing. But in the end, there is extra paperwork. There always is that they wouldn't do necessarily. So really helping them and front load what the expectations would be and make sure that that's a commitment that they're interested in.
Makes sense.
And then we would do a safety screening of just their programming. And it's basically just a questionnaire that the Office of Head Start has put out that we look at all aspects of their environment and their programming already to see if it would be a good match. We also take a look at licensing records and do an on-site visit.
All that stuff.
Yeah, just kind of making sure that we think that this is going to be a right fit, but also really making sure that they think it's going to be a right fit. We want to have partners who want this. That's what makes the perfect match.
Yeah.
Is that something that we're actively seeking, trying to get more collaborative centers?
We are always open to it. We currently have all of our slots allocated at this time, but it takes time to become a partner.
Sure.
So it's something you got to be looking ahead for.
Okay.
And then when those opportunities arise, then we have somebody that we've been in conversations with.
Yeah. Okay, great. Catherine, if someone were interested in learning more about this program, Collaborative Centers, or any of our child and family development programs, how could they reach out to do that?
I think the best location is to go to our website, nmcaa.net. And then if you look at the child and family development programming, you'll be able to see all of the different options that are available, because we do have several within the agency. And then you can hone in on collaborative centers if that's something that you're interested in. There are links there for you to apply. And I'm not sure if
Are there resources
I was going to say, I believe
there?
the locations are all listed on the website now, too. Yes.
And are there resources there for potentially centers who may be interested just to find out more, to see if they want to make that call to Catherine, not Rachel?
Good question.
Resources that they can just kind of see if we, kind of fit the bill, so they kind of know if it's worth it for them.
Yeah, there is contact information on that website. It won't necessarily get you straight to me first, but it will get you straight to someone who can.
Yeah, but just, an idea of what to be looking for. That's amazing. Absolutely. And again, I don't know if we hit that website directly, but nmcaa.net/collaborative-centers. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
The time has come. Hard-hitting questions.
Yep.
All right. See, now this is the look that we do the show for. This is it. This is the moment. We're going to take it in. So we said this wasn't a tough podcast, but we do, if you've listened to the show, you may know what these hard-hitting questions are. But so Katherine, if you had one wish, it can be fantasy, reality, what have you, for the early head start at NMCAA, what would it be and why?
An infinite amount of funding.
All right.
Because like we said, teachers need to get paid more.
Yeah,
so yeah, let's get everybody paid.
Okay.
What they deserve.
It's a practical. Well,
I feel like this one's been said before, but I mean, we all agree, right?
I don't think it's
have
not
one of the hardest jobs.
Keep it pushed out into the universe.
Yeah,
you know?
Keep saying it,
And it doesn't
will
matter.
manifest.
Again, that one.
And
know,
early
that-
childhood in particular,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That one time that
has
it works.
its own challenges, but I feel like early childhood has definitely taken its, it's
Okay,
tough.
I have a fun one for you, Rachel.
Oh, boy.
If you could choose one spokesperson for the Collaborative Centers program, who would it be and why? You could pick a celebrity.
Anybody.
You could pick Katherine if you'd like.
Any
it could be
spokesperson.
Anybody. No pressure.
Gosh.
And you're not marketing right now, but, had you need to
right?
be, who would it be?
One person that has taught me so much in my life, and Katherine probably knows who it is, Maggie Spratman is an amazing early childhood infant mental health specialist, person who understands the importance of of what we're doing. She's amazing. The other person that I really love listening to is in our organization is Drew.
Yes.
And I've heard her on
I just
the podcast.
gasped. Did you
and
hear
she's
that? I
just-
just
you
gasped.
did
Yeah,
gasp.
I'm a
love
fan.
She's amazing.
We all
And she really
love her.
understands all the perspectives, like children, teachers, administrators, she
I keep
gets
trying to
the
find ways to
perspectives.
get her back on the
Yeah,
show.
and she makes you feel good, right?
She's so great.
She's inviting and
a good point.
And smart and well spoken. So
That's perfect.
This is really fascinating.
Do you
I
have?
think-
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I was
think
going to say,
know what you're gonna
do you have a spokesperson that you'd like to mention?
I think, Drew might be the one you need to get back out here again.
All right.
She
I know.
has so much to offer.
She does.
She could probably do at least 5
connections and
podcasts with you.
Isn't
Yeah,
this
I'm sure
great?
there's other
All the
things she could
talent
talk
at
about.
NMCAA.
Yeah.
There are already little collective us celebrities within the show that we're hoping to promote. So again, thank you for those. I think those are realistic. All those are realistic.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Well, thank you, Katherine and Rachel, for sharing your passion and your vast knowledge with us today. It's so great hearing the work at NMCAA and our partners are doing in the community.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you.
thanks, guys. This is great.
So it is time for Ryan's take. Go ahead, Ryan. When you're ready.
Collaboration and proliferation. I think it's amazing that learning something new about a program, I'm still taken about the collaboration that it takes, the work that it takes, and it's never easy. It's never one step. And you take the work and you take the efforts to do it because it matters. But this is really profound. I really was taken by the fact that it's a unique program that just takes a lot of steps to do. And it takes a lot of thought behind it. And that there's data making informed decisions. I think that's really cool. We don't talk about data a lot. Maybe we don't want to talk about data. But it's really, that's important. And I think NMCAA is really lucky to have you both with them in doing this. It's really cool.
Thank you.
It's kind. Yeah.
A couple reminders before we wrap up today. If you or someone you know is homeless, please call 1-844-900-0500. Also, NMCAA is still taking interest forms for child and family development programs, including Head Start. Go to nmcaa.net and fill out the interest form today.
NMCAA is currently seeking volunteers for the free tax prep program. To learn more about that, contact NMCAA by calling 231-947-3780.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share this episode or the show link on social media. Follow the podcast to know when a new episode drops and rate the show. It truly helps us continue to get the word out on all the good NMCAA does in the community.
If you would like to become a sustaining donor with a recurring gift or contribute a one-time donation, please check out nmcaa.net/donate or send us a message at collectiveuspodcast@nmcaa.net.
To learn more about Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency or the programs we offer, or if you'd like to make a donation, we encourage you to reach out at 231-947-3780 or visit our website, nmcaa.net. And to the collective today, we encourage you to continue to strive each day to do something to help yourself or your neighbors.